Morning to you, everybody. Coming to you today at 0800 hours, 58 minutes, Friday 14, 2018. Last night, I just watched and listened, and it hold truth. I listened to the worst ever solutions and resolve. All I didn't hear one solution, no resolve, because the only person he was so negative because he didn't have hope and faith. I'm gonna get to that. He was so, we call it real, which he was trying to be, but everybody else kept making. They tried to sound. They kept using words I never heard of. I was like, I don't have to. You don't have to use that word. Like even if I use a word like frequently over and over again, what was one of the words they used? And I don't remember because there's so many of them. And I was like, because I'll be listening to people that try to explain the things that we all went through from the eighth century of the world. We was never alive. We in the 20th century. From the second century, 18 centuries later, thousands and thousands of years later, laws and theories later, generation after generation after generation, the curses, the bad, the angers, the problem, the hurt, the hate, the non-love to the non-self-love to the love of not even people, to not trust in one another, the negativity, all the bad, all the wrong, all the disruption, the corruption, the destruction, the killing, the murder, the abortions, the drugs, the communities to neighboring, to neighborhoods, the ghetto, what we call ratchet. What is wrong, the problem, the fuckery, the stupidity, the foolishness was, they all said it, but nobody said one solution, one resolve the whole time because we kept dodging it. And I'm going to put the link inside of my video when it loads. Nobody said one solution at all. It was the same. Who fault is it? It's men and women fault. But at points when you are going to have to start telling the truth, and the only one right thing that was said, we got to do this every single day. We're going to need forums, and we're going to need everybody that wants to be involved. And the one other truth, the Negroes and the niggas and the niggalettes, the bitches, the hoes, the Jezebels, the prostitute, the ones that are warring, we cannot care for a while about them. And then that's the real truth, the reality. And it's not that we're not caring. We gotta say they're not going to listen to us. They don't want to follow us because, and they kept saying the same things. There are no resources. But that's not the only reason why you're gonna get me to stop destroying my family. You telling me you don't have this thing that pump blood in and out your heart that cleans it. You telling me you don't have a heart, the things that's in your chest. You don't have a mind. These two are connecting. You don't have a soul. You don't have a spirit to say, damn, you have some sense there, my brother, my sister. I need to stop hurting people. I don't care people, especially the people that's near me. And if we're going to tell the truth and have a reality, it's going to be sad and it's not going to be all beautiful. We cannot sugarcoat it. And another reality, some Negroes about to die. Because when you start with self and you start going out, you're going to have to start connecting with people's families. A lot of people barely hear what you have to say now. So some reality, some people is going to get hurt. But you got to have a trust first. You got to trust me. You got to have honesty. And then to begin anything, like I already said, we forget the religion or what your belief is. And nobody brought that up. We're going to have to figure. They brought it up, but they kept saying pro-black is so divided. We know we need to get rid of a lot of things. I already wrote it down. It's dividing and separating us. Started with the man versus the woman. What are our duties? What are we made for? And we don't love each other. It's a lot that you can say. And if you're gonna be honest too, it's going to be thousands and thousands. This if and the one thing that, well, I'm not going to call this part one, two, or three, because I'm not going to keep saying this over and over, because we still the common ground. The common ground. It's got to be a grounds for everybody to be okay with. Everybody got to feel safe, and it's got to be common. That's daily, every day. If one thing was right, as I worked on me, just like they say everything in there, but nobody was going to a solution, because the one dude, they kept saying after he left the forum, they kept saying, well, we're not going to dog him and talk about him, but he talked about black women. So what? Y'all sitting up there sugarcoating everything. The one dude, and he was telling the dude the truth. You are from the hood. What is the common do good, man? The good dudes, the good women, what is their incentive? You got to really think about that. For me to keep talking about my neighboring hood to get whatever you projects to trap, I don't have no incentive to go about there. To be honest, my mother lived there, but I don't have an incentive because I'm not worried about her. I know she's an adult. So we gotta remember, and they kept bringing up the children. Come on now, we talking about the children, because if you don't help the parent, how you help the child? You cannot literally just directly help a child and not help the parent, and you cannot directly help a child without going through the parent. And it says it's going to be a time. So what you wait to? So are you going to talk to 18-year-olds and up? So when they graduate, well, by then you know they're already making their mind. So all you doing, so what we doing is trying to say, for okay, I'm 35. Basically, it was like saying, forget me. I don't find love. I shouldn't be looking for love until I have all this, everything in my life acquired to even get married. And they even said that to start a family. Well, how about I love myself first? And then if we're really working on a community, that means there won't be no procreation. So basically, what and the dude said, nobody cared, nobody don't care when we're having sex. That's how we got there. And the people on the panel, and what they didn't want to do is he said, "What about your life?" The dude's like, "I'm talking about my life too. I'm okay with that. I have just accepted my reality." And nobody wanted to accept that their life. That's what reality is your life. It's what's got us to where you was at. And then you would say everybody to know. You know what most people did? If you grew up in a neighboring hood, a project, a ghetto, and let's say you didn't contribute, you didn't sell drugs, you wasn't out there fighting everybody, you was walking through, you had no choice, you was a child, you lived there. The most things you could have done is defend yourself. You barely did that as a child. And and the truth is, the people that wanted to leave, they ran away because it's no incentive. It's no incentive. It's no incentive living out here. But I know I don't have no. I don't have a curtain on my window for 2 years now. I've been robbed 0 times. Not saying people don't get robbed out here. That's my incentive. I can go to work and accidentally leave my patio door open. I just showed you. That's my incentive, because if I'm gonna advocate, I can't live in my community to advocate. And they was talking about that. They talking about everything but the truth. And that's what I'm gonna put that in there. Everything but the truth. You don't. We cannot. Their children are not safe. That's why you get up and leave. They even said that. The one lady said, "It's not the hood that's bad." Yes, it is, because the mentality that come with it, what you supposed to be come with it. So it is bad, and it's like it's the people. It is the people. But in all reality, everywhere you go, the man made sense in every city, every state. And he's like, even in Chicago, where he lived, he's like, show us a place. I don't care how he bashed women. He kept speaking. They kept trying to make it sound so pretty. They kept trying to make it just. I don't know what else to call it. It wasn't the truth. It was false. It was like you going into church saying there's a God, but you're or a creator, quote unquote, what we call a God, but you're not gonna tell me, yeah, man, there is a creator, but man, some things will happen to you, and this is why. And there's some solutions to get out. A whole bunch of them. I have, but you don't want to hear me because I'm not the same religion as you. I'm not on the same path. So that's what we're doing. And we gotta break from that now. Like I said, everything is a curse. If you watch all my lives and listen to my lives, if they really want it, they'll stop talking. Martin Luther King and Malcolm, they already talked. They talked out. We talked out the solutions or resolution. All I'm doing is spiritually getting what is needed to make the change and watching the videos as well. I am Googling, I am going to the libraries. They're trying to destroy the libraries. I am doing is reiterating there's nothing new under the sun. There's literally nothing new on this earth that I'm saying and we're trying to do. Nothing new. Not one thing. But the same fight and fight, the war is going to always be war. Hate is always going to be, poverty is going to always be poverty and racism. Because you know why? Because there's no solutions and resolve to that. Because you're eradicating that. That's the only solution. Is to eradicate, delete, and remove. There's no other solution to how this is going to be better. Come on. I'm going to put the link in there. Come on. They kept saying things. One brother, like, I had to get the one sister, she had the baby and messed with the wrong dude. Regardless, she messed with a drug dealer. And you know what she said? And this is the part where when I listened to my one guy, I call my covenant brother. Now he's just my friend to me. Not a friend of me, just a friend to me. It sounded funny. So I don't have enemies in my midst or people that I call friend that don't have my best interest. I don't have that. You are an associate or you a homie or a buddy or whatever those words entail, which I haven't looked up yet. You are just associated to me because I care about you and I admire you in some way. In all honesty, and I love you. But she's saying, F the drug dealers. I don't give a damn about them because she was doing her part. Then when she left out her door, that's what she was saying. But not everybody in the neighboring surrounding was doing that. But she said, F them. Yes, that's a good solution. And the other brother was like, I was the man I was using the women. I was the prison dude. I have multiple kids. But the dude was bringing that up. It's like, first of all, I got to tell the truth about myself. And he was like, before we help anybody, we got to help ourselves. Each person, if I can help myself, I can help the next person in my family. Then we can start going out. That's like the easiest. And people are like, what's how we gonna do that? We're gonna need help. Yes, the people that was, so it was 6-5 people talking. Yes, we are gonna help each other. But first we gotta help ourselves. And the dude made so much sense. It's like, I want to talk to him. I didn't want to hear the brother that talk about I built up myself or the lady that's saying, because I have that mentality in a sense. But I wasn't saying, see, they were saying literally F those people. I mean, like in a literal sense. Like, would you not help them? Because if you leave them alone and they start like doing things what's not going to help, who fault is that? It's going to be, so we're not getting nowhere. That's what they don't understand. We're not going to get nowhere thinking, okay, we leave them out or we're not even like having no attention on them. It's going to work. No. That's the percent that we're talking about. That is why we having so much of these conversations. A person made a me on Instagram with a black man being helped by a white woman, and within the whole caption or the paragraph, whatever you want to call that part, the body of the photo before the photo is shown, it's the name of the social media page, the words, the paragraph in the photo. And then under it, and the caption is incredible. I was telling them like, so I wrote the media. This is what the media do: capital M, capital E, capital D, capital I. And I brought that up. It's not even about black and white, but it was about how people read and listen and what they see. And they brought that up: how we read, listen, and see. We brought up the consonant and dissonance. We brought on comprehended. We brought up language. We brought up so many things. But nobody still had a resolve or resolution. So to me, it was like, what was the point of their life? Because nobody wanted to be truthful. Nobody say, hi, I'm so-and-so. This is my stand. This is where I come from. If you're going, and then where's the mediator wasn't even good. The mediator was cussing. The mediator was a woman that was just screaming. So that right there didn't even show. I was like, hold on. I'd say everybody in here stop. What is the whole purpose of this? Nobody got into a purpose. Nobody had any type of order, no organization, no direction. We was about to talk because one brother had a different idea. Nobody was going to listen to him. And once he got off, they kept saying that regurgitating the same throw up. We know that. We know this. We still no resolve or resolution. And based on because of my comment, people got mad. People were like, oh, this is the one reason. I was like, you didn't even read the comment. You didn't even read what's in the paragraph. The one spot they said, awesome, that what it's a media and what society portrayed, quote unquote, not verbatim of what it said, the hate, that it's awesome that we see this in this society because of what media and society portray as hate. Now, if I see a black man that was supposedly blind trying to get a cab or not as mentally retarded, and a white woman helped him, and he finally got a cab, and the guy was taking a picture watching from a dining area from a place because he was just recording to see who was going to help him, and a white woman actually showed up. When I read those lines, I was like, okay, good job. But at the same time, that don't negate all of the bad that happened. And my comment is like, so the media always shed light on what they want to shed light to. And it's white people helping black people. Majority of the time, then vice versa, it don't show black people helping nobody. I have to still deal with even escorts, porn stars, CEOs of companies, 500s, our own people saying no African American, no people that's dark skinned in America. Oprah Winfrey does that. She don't bring on a rapper. She don't want why, but those the guys that's going through everything. And at one point, and it's not controlled. We even talked about how the industry is controlled 80% by people that's not even African American or what we call black or the Negro word or nigga in America. We're not even a nigga not even controlling it. Even if it was foolish, he's not controlling it. We don't even own it. Owned by the Middle Eastern people and the Romans, the British, and the small 1/10% of black people that have their input because they're hired. But we're not controlling the media. We're not in control of. They didn't talk about what can we control within ourselves in our community. And it was like, what was the purpose of this? It started to make me think. I listened, but when he got off, I stopped listening. I was like, all right, got to the end of it. It went on for like 4 hours. I was like, now listen, for like literally 3 hours and 40 minutes of this. It's like nobody talked about self. Nobody talked about investing. We talked about people that left and want to come back. We know that Muslims or Middle Eastern people, they called us, we are the worst people ever. Because we're stupid. We are so great till we're stupid. So that's like you said, you so smart till you dumb. Because when it comes to the sense of now what we're really getting to, the common ground of trying to build the community again, or to create or form or have the foundation of the community, we stupid. Because we expecting people with a lot of money. We just expecting instead of like, well, let's start. Then the whole get up about that with self. The dude kept saying it's self. And he's saying, what y'all keep saying is not a reality. Now I'm about to do a reality check. It's about to be so truthful. I'm not about to splurge into the history. We were slaves once. There was laws and theories created, and the way we was nurtured, fostered, and breeded. This is what we see now. We see drug dealers in the hood. We don't buy that. They're pumping drugs. We see the weapons. We didn't go get these. They brought them to the hood neighborhoods, the hoods, the ghetto, the projects, the bad area. Every black African descent person in America has a family that's in low income housing at some point in their life and their ancestry. Still to now they do. I'm not. Even if you're talking about you just forgetting about them. Everybody, right? Why? Because we coming from a place where we had to, like we said this. America became our home. We're not going back to Africa. There's no deporting us to Africa. We was born and raised here. Can't deport us. We're not being deported. We're not going anywhere. So a lot of us made this our homes. And I'm not going to blame people I never blame nobody from being selfish and having their own thoughts of what they want to find as a relationship whether they stay with their race, go out their race, or intermingle, interracialize, but try to keep within their race based on, okay, she's mixed, she's black, or she's black, Asian, black and Hispanic. We understand that. Cool. We father and mother. We know how the genes work. We know the center, the nucleus. The creator made us. We are all our people. We're not worried about that. So we know all this happened throughout the history of the story they told us and the stories that we go through. But in reality, Brenda did have a baby. Tyrone did have a baby with Brenda. Tyrone had a baby with Shaniqua, Tiffany, Tamara, Janae. Janae did keep open her legs, so Janae had one baby, or even Constance. They had a girl named Constance, Angel, Mercedes. They had multiple babies with the same guys. Reality, the people that's advocating too is going to have to be truthful with themselves. Like the one dude that, okay, I was part of the streets. And the dude said, well, you owe a little bit more. And it is a little bit more. You sold the drugs while I'm trying to like look at you and stop you. But I didn't have the power because I didn't want to get killed, because in your mentality at that time, you'd have shot me if I'd have said, hey, brother, you hurting your community. You didn't want to listen. It took somebody from another nationality to call black people stupid and break it down to them. It's about we come back into the neighborhoods after we leave when we make it. They come back and they get a surplus of consumer production, income, dividends, gross money from us. But we leave because we have it was no incentive for him to stay, get robbed or get killed. That's it, and that's the reality. This is not making up. There is realities. Every rapper says they like, why do rappers go back in the hood? And they made a song like, you ain't gonna change. Like, it was okay, he was being hard. Then they make a point. I'm snatching this. They robbed his car. They robbed him. Who was it? Somebody, Ashanti got robbed so many times. It was another person. And it's like, because they willing to stay where they at. They're getting robbed because some black people are like, girl at the job kept saying we are greedy. But at the same time, we don't have the resources. But that's not an excuse. Because if you actually work with the people, maybe you can start advocating and taking knees, and you don't make millions of dollars, but I need some food. But people want to live above their means and people want to have the best. And that's unfair to any person. That is so unfair. I would never ask a woman or a man that want love to not say, don't date out your race. That's why I don't speak on a lot of things so directly. I challenge you and try to guide you to truth, just all truth, the whole truth, and nothing to the truth. So help us, the creator, the one that made us, the one that gave us the power, the ability, the access to activate, to get rid of these curses. I don't want the curse no more. We're not saying we don't want it. We just bring it up. We saying F them. We can't forget about those people, because that's the person your child see as well. And your child has a question. And as a child, I was watching those people while I was watching the people that wasn't hurting people. But soon as it happened, what happens? It's a bigger old deal when a person do bad than good. This person do bad, the ambulance come, the cops come, the crowds come. Somebody do good, you barely can get them to your graduation. It's so much dividing and separation. When somebody graduate with a master's degree in their family, all the family not there. Unless the family was built with this mentality and they had a heart to be like, we're going to break this. You got to have the mentality to break the curse. We got to loosen it, release it, declare and decree is no more. Keep rebuking it daily to change, to want change in the heart, minds, and the soul. And we got to get healed and delivered. But it's going to take everybody, even the brothers they got to understand too. Like, imagine if, okay, LeBron and them, they take their money and go together, but they're not helping everybody. They're advocating for their city and the community. But imagine if the other brothers, they can get them, and LeBron, imagine if they all went to their city they grew up in. And then they worked what they're doing together. Nobody thought about that. See, them are solutions and resolve that you're not going to get from the same folks over and over that's not willing to listen to each other. I wouldn't dare sit down and keep talking. And I'll be like, I'd have said, what are we doing? What are we here for? because nobody want to listen. You want to talk, but we not hear about. We done saying what is the problem. We need to find those resources. They didn't bring up the HR Commission Act 1242. They didn't bring up grants that we can get for free. They didn't bring up how you can save your. Not one thing, not one of that was mentioned. But when the reality kept going, we kept doing it. We kept deflecting. He said, "How does that help? It do help if you tell the truth about your life, about what you did, and so we can move on. Because if I don't tell you about my life, it's I don't want to. I'm not. I don't want a sob story. I was born into Buffalo, New York, to a woman and man, and when I grew little by little, they could teach me so much. They taught me what they know. My mother taught me how to be the respectable man, and the things my father taught me is what I learned, and as I became a man. As a young man, I didn't know. I don't say boys. I might revert and say when I was born, I was a male, and my sisters were females, and that was it. I'm not going to say boy and girls. You're a lady or a woman. You either a gentleman, a man, or a young man, or you could be an adolescent, adult. And as an adult, I had to learn and go through all these things. I watched what was good, what was bad, what was right, what was wrong, what was positive, what was negative. The people that was doing positive, they're not there no more. That is the truth. The people that wasn't, and you can talk to them. And they have a and it was they didn't then at the end of it, it wasn't it didn't say nothing about people lost hope, people lost faith. I'm not gonna put that link because I don't know the person. She barely when I comment, it's like a rebuttal. And so we're gonna need, and I remember I spoke about how if you had a right hand and a left hand, she or he may be connected to them. So that's why it's good. I have good friends, but then I have good association with people as well. Well, I can say, hold on, you talk to this person, give them this, show them this, talk to them about this, because you can get to them better than me. And then as we come along, because that's what we got to do first. We can't just have an open forum with 5 people, which three people agree, one is neutral, and the other like, well, I'm here to see what's up. Because we're gonna have people in the midst that is hopeless. Like when I say I'm a hopeless romantic, like that don't make sense. You're hope and less at the same time. So they both just canceled each other out and made it negative. And we gonna understand this. And I'm past the disheartened. I haven't cried in so long. I almost cried more recently. Because I watch shows that also talking about bringing their people together. This is how they did it. And if you watch these shows, and it's funny because they're animes, they're cartoons, and even in movies, it's like certain parts. You an outsider, I'm this, I'm that. But they find a way. Even within the movie, in the movies, like we call them ending, like the plot, the ending of the movie, actually it'd be solutions and resolves to get better. Our black people, we do buy the most, but we don't invest back in ourselves. We don't invest back in our neighboring surroundings. We don't do a lot of things. We hear the Jews talking about savings. We don't implement that. We don't have an investment vehicle. Then if we do, we don't want to guide our family members. Oh, I gave up. Well, I don't want him here. I don't want them there. Well, I say unto one, I say unto all, it's your choice, it's your path, it's your journey. I just got spiritually, it's no more to say. It's just all doing actions now. And that's the key thing is all doing and more action. This talking is not going to matter because we need everybody in each state that got enough money that's willing. And the people that's suffering is the children. That's the reality of the facts. But the children are going to suffer because the parents don't understand. If we leave out the parents, the children suffer. We think it's going to talk to the children. It's I'm not gonna watch somebody that I know that have see a child have greatness in them, but person also have greaterness in them. Because if you look at the child and look at the parent can be cracked out drug dealer, all those things they could have done bad in the world to their family and to their children. But it's something about that person that happened too. They need help. They need love. So we try to exclude them or try not to utilize them just as much as the children. It's no future. They die. They're gonna die eventually. So we're gonna wait till everybody die. But not everybody gonna be on plan. Some people are gonna say, "Well, I want to sell drugs and it's make more money for me." We're not trying to convince them. We got to show them. But nobody's willing to do the groundwork too. There's no street work. There's no groundwork. We all just talking on the internet. Mine is talking to the people that do understand, that do have in their heart, the children and young men and women. See, they're coming to the internet to seek help for refuge. They're constantly because they don't have it, because they don't have that support. They don't have that help. I didn't have that support, so I know how it feels. They do feel like they was bullied. They do feel like they're not getting enough attention. So they're coming to the internet. They're looking for what they can gravitate to. And of course, they're living out their life as well. They're living out their life just as much as anybody did. I'm not comparing the old days to the new days, but even though you didn't have a computer, there was something created that was occupying your time. You was watching somebody, there was something. Like, oh, no, electronic devices, no, that new electronic device. There was something occupying your time at that time. And everything wasn't all good. Like we say, it's all good. No, it's not all good. Not all the time either. It's never all good all the time. I don't care what words you put in front of those words and after those words and around those words. It's not all good all the time. It's not, because there's life. And we're gonna keep forgetting that. We can't talk. Couldn't even if you was directly talking and you wouldn't even having a good conversation and dialogue, we couldn't even talk. They couldn't even talk to each other. Because somebody trying to be right. And they kept saying, no, you don't. I don't talk. I say I ask you to guide and challenge you so you can see the truth. Or you can figure out the truth on your own. You may not see how I'm talking about it. But until you come in only one mind and one zoned way of thinking, one perspective, one view, of course, that's all. And if you don't, like you said, we talked about self-reflection. They did talk about that. You got to self-reflect. If you don't work on you, nothing will change first, any way it go. I'm not at where I'm at, but I know I'm still working on me. But I'm going to meet somebody at where I'm at in my position. I still got to talk to them. I'm still have to associate myself with them. So it don't matter how much and I don't have. That don't even matter how many resources I have. I still got to have a mind and a heart. They didn't even talk about love. So you have a great day. Love yourself. Don't become lovers of yourself. You got to focus, purpose, mission, position with good and positive values, morals, and ethics. We got to get to that too. They didn't even talk about, it's so much that was left out. They talked for 4 hours about nothing. The runaround, like it was the runaround. It was like watching Get Out. It happened, but did it really happen? Well, I was in my sunken place, but this happened, but I broke free before. Like, well, when you finally break free, it's not being awake. It's not being conscious. I keep saying to people, I am aware of what's going on. I walk out of my house and see it. And the other things that I don't see, I'm not so much worried because my advocation gonna come through the community because those people would have needed me. And it's funny, the way they were, somehow, in some way, it balanced me out. It would have balanced me out. And I'd be like, we not hitting no points. We not getting to no truth. I was like, what are we doing? That was a 4 waste hours. And anybody listen to that will see. Her name Ashley W. Type it in. It was about the legacy with George Macon. I watched the brother Hippolyte. That's Dr. Umar, Sarah Lena, Louis Farrakhan, the Alice Reverends, and it's like I feel like the Kaepernicks, the Obama, the LeBrons. It's still they're doing. A lot of them are doing, but still, even in your doing. But I know what I'm made for. I'm literally made for those places. That's why I daily worked on me. I like today. I was like, man, I came out of myself. I worked back on me first. Me. And people say, don't always say I. No, say I. Because with an I, there's self and is. Selfish, self and is. That's an action. There's a being. I am being. That's an action word. Being is an action word. But I have to use the other adjectives to make action. The other verbs. pronouns and proverbs. I need that understanding and knowledge too to become wiser. But I have to make a choice first. What am I going to do? And that's the challenge in the guy is you first. I can't worry about the individual person one on one. First, I'll get me, then we just go out. And then we have true, because you know what it took for you to change. And you had to be truthful. And you had to tell the people, like find out Maya Angelou was an escort, a prostitute. We had to tell the young women. So when these strippers like, well, you don't understand. Well, Maya Angelou was a prostitute. Oprah Winfrey was raped too. When Oprah want to get on board with us. LeBron James grew up in that neighborhood, or whoever you look to, they grew up there. Hey, sister, she had lots of kids. She was foolish. Hey, brother, he wasn't a father either. He was foolish. It's the reality. It's not sad. It's the reality. It's nothing sad about it. That's life. But we got to use life. Shalom.